Hi, Nick Tockert here with the Historical Fencing Guild. Well, folks, today, I'm sorry, I'm stuttering a little bit because I'm excited. I'm a little cheesed, a bit annoyed at something. You see, I'm a big fan of, again, Shadiversity. Shadiversity. I gotta remember to spell it right this time to get those hits. But my problem is this. He and to an extent, sometimes Skull, sometimes some of the others, they talk about the weapons that fantasy characters should be using. What should adventurers be using? They make some good points, but they miss consistently a little bit of, dare I say, context. So I want to get into that. First off, let's talk about this. Is a cutlass. It's got a 22-inch blade. I purchased and actually had this model custom made for my, good friends at Purple Heart Armory. It's a modified Rawlings. I own a sword exactly this length with almost exactly this curvature and a basket hilt. I believe you should train with what you have. Now this is a wonderful short sword and a wonderful item you'd think for a adventurer to be carrying around whilst going on adventures. And that's the point. Let's go to another sword. Another beloved sword. Okay, my Italian tactical trainer. Again, it's got a slightly short blade compared to a lot of swords, but I can actually comfortably draw it. Again, this would be a sword, maybe not even a short sword, just the tail end of a sword. Note the length. Now, you're an adventurer, you're traveling all over the world. The logic is, why not carry a great sword? Right now, I don't own a great sword, at least not one that's great enough to make my point. I do own my lovely Odachi. Now, this is a great sword, but you start running into a problem. One, it's not even staying in film. Two, I have to carry it. So, am I going to sling it? This starts to be problematic. I know I'm a chunky monkey, but that's a lot of sword either way. Even more so, this man. This is my wife's glaive. It is let me see if I can get it. It is 7.5 feet long. This was her SCA fighting polearm, and I'm going to be making her something a little equivalent later. She doesn't always watch the videos, so I should be able to get away with it, but it'd be a surprise. This is 7.5 feet long. As a glaive or a polearm, this is great if you have to fight dragons. And yes, if you know you're fighting dragons, this is it. This is a great weapon. These are great weapons. All of them are great weapons, but there's a problem. Wow. I'm actually being swarmed by yellow jackets. So I'm going to use the magic of YouTube to stop. I'm going to teleport to where I need to be, and I'll start back in a minute. And poof, we're back. Now, where I am is a little strip of woods between my house and the next. Not a primordial forest at all. But I want to prove a point. Just trying to get... Okay, I'm trying to find a place to set my weapons down, because it is rather tangled. Just moving through the forest, which if you're not really agriculturally, hikingly inclined, is difficult. Okay? Now I'm gonna head back just a bit so you can get a full body of what I have to deal with. And I'm holding the Nodachi and my weapons over here. They would be sheathed, but I can hold them like they're sheathed to prove a point. Now I have to get through this to another. Can I see me? Cool. To another bit of clearing. Here's the thing. I have a few feet around me, but this is not a even standard. If I'm standing here, I have to cut my way through the bush just to get anywhere. That's something adventurers, and wow, no, that ding was already there. This is not meant for that. But I'm using, these trainers. I literally have to cut my way just to shoot this video. Now let's quizzical. I'm gonna put these down. Let me make sure this will work. Not poison ivy. Okay, Orachi. My fighting becomes very limited where I have to cut my way through these woods. And the thing about adventurers is, adventurers have to get to their adventure. So unless you're packing a bag of holding to store your big stuff, which I recommend any D&D player do, this suddenly becomes a massive pain in the butt. You can't draw it, you certainly can't fight with it in a tangled, close quarter situation. Now, we'll go to these guys. This is not bad. I can actually function pretty well, and I'm literally surrounded by brambles and briars and what have you. Excuse me. But you have to keep in mind the setting. People think of fights occurring in these open, nice, like my list field, where it's safest. And guess what? When they film a movie, most of the time they want it to be safest on the actors. So that's the cinematic version. Fights happen usually where it's most convenient for your attacker. If you are the attacker, be just a second. If you are the attacker, the fight's gonna happen in a place where you have advantage. If not, it's gonna happen wherever it happens, especially wild, encounters with animals and things. So what I want you guys to do when you're thinking about what you're equipping your characters with and where they're going to be fighting, actually think about dealing with where they're going to be. This goes into his video on, sorry, there was a creature moving through the brush. The video on dwarves, they spend much of their time theoretically underground. So while a great sword is a great weapon, it's not what they're going to have on hand, and you should train with what you're likely to carry. This is why I train a lot with shorter swords. Most of the swords you encounter in modern days, swords are machetes, or they're purpose-bought things, but you have to be able to fight indoors in close, controlled areas. Oh, it's all room-clearing exercises, but with melee weapons instead of pistols, or submachine guns, or whatever you're clearing rooms with. My point is, and I never thought I'd really be harping on this, but the context of the weapon has to fit the character and the battleground. There's an old song in the SCA by a guy named Michael Longcore that has the chorus, "You can't swing a broadsword when you're in the forest. The extra steel keeps getting in the way." Keep that in mind. I hope you found this entertaining. I love Shad's videos. I love pretty much most people's videos. If you like what I'm doing, like, share, subscribe. And as always, support your local swordmaster.